it goes for about 20 minutes. I get shocked about between 40 and 50 times. Everyone there, I can see their faces. Like, everyone's like, this dude's about to die. I'm thinking I'm about to die.
Just want to jump right in and ask you a couple of questions. What were the earliest musical influences that you had growing up that kind of formulated you as an artist, as an adult?
Yeah. Okay, so for sure, Rodriguez, like, without a doubt. My dad gave me a Rodriguez cassette when I was 10, and I remember hearing Sugar Man for the first time. Like, everyone knows Rodriguez now because of the documentary, Searching for Sugar Man, but I remember being 10 and Dad giving me this cassette. And what they don't talk about in the documentary, that I feel like anyone who loves music has probably seen. Have you seen Searching for Sugar Man?
Yeah, the documentary? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, like, you know, they talk about the fact he blew up in South Africa without knowing it. He was in America. He was unaware. But he actually blew up in Australia to a degree as well. And came out to Australia. And they don't put that in the doco, and they should, because it's a fact of the matter. And so my dad knew who he was, and his friends knew who Rodriguez was. And I remember hearing it and just being like, it was the first time, like, you know, like, you grow up hearing music, catchy songs, where it was the first time I'd listened to something and been like, oh wow, this is real life. This is like intense. I remember listening to it, just being like, firstly, like, why does my dad love this so much? And then, like, trying to work that out, you know, like, what about this is there? And it was like, at 10 years old, I had a realization, like, music can be more. It's not just like it's not just catchy for the sake of being catchy. You know, I think
substance.
Yeah, you can have substance. I think it can take a lot of people a long time to realize that, or yeah, I don't know. But I remember hearing that Rodriguez cassette and just being like, damn, music is powerful.
Yeah.
And so when I got into it, I mean, I wrote my first song when I was like 8. Just like on a whim. I was like, I think I saw, like, I was watching a TV show where they wrote a song, and I was like, I want to try and write a song. And
I tried. Still have that song?
I do. It's called You Gotta Believe in Yourself. I took it to music class in year 3, and you remember scratch and smell stickers?
Yeah.
Yeah. My music teacher gave me a scratch and smell sticker for it. I think it was like a grape one, and it's still stuck on there. It doesn't smell like grape anymore, but, you know, it can't last for 20 years. But yeah, like, I wrote my first song then, and I just always loved creative writing, like poetry or short stories or lyrics of any kind. And so I started out writing like pop songs, and when I got to 12, I discovered Tupac, and after that it was like hip hop and nothing else. And I started trying to rap, and I started with gangster rap, and realized that dude who looks like this can't write gangster rap, and it turned into my own stories, and yeah, it just kept going from there.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I guess 2018 was the year that you brought out Gene Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
I was a huge fan of that track. Was it 2018?
Thanks, man. The clip came out in 2018. The track came out in 2017.
Oh, really?
The clip came out in 2018.
Yeah, cool. And I mean, that definitely pricked my ears up. And then from there on in, I just saw you playing, you know, like bigger and bigger shows. Did that clip make it to MTV?
Yeah. It did. Yeah. That's cool that you remember it like that.
Yeah.
That was cool, man. Like, like, I've been independent since the jump, right? Like, I haven't had agents, like booking agents or managers or labels or nothing. Like, I've had offers on the table a bunch of times, but it's all fallen through. And so everything since the start has been me and the people that believe in me trying to make stuff work.
Has that been tricky?
People like Steve Brown and, you know, like filmmakers and producers, Gia Lee, Creed Birch, people like that just backing me up and us putting out stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of the fact that we've been able to like make moves without any like major backing behind us. Get support spots that artists that were on labels didn't get, or, you know, get MTV. Like, so Gene Simmons in 2018, like clip of the week and stuff like that. People might, you know, someone on a label who has all the hookups and all the connections, for them, that might not be anything to kind of like, for an independent artist, like all of that stuff is like fuck yeah, like we did that, you know?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think, testament to the Perth hip hop community at all, and
A testament to
kind
the
of-
people that are like willing to like eat shit for years and just keep going.
yeah.
That's what it is. Whether
Yeah.
that's Perth or Melbourne or Sydney or anywhere, man. Like anywhere. Like
yeah.
the people that are willing to just keep on going. Like the amount of people that I meet that will like do this stuff for like a year or 2 years and then be like, oh, I didn't get out of it what I thought I would, and then they stop, and it's like, what were you even thinking? Like, you think in 2 years you're gonna like, you shouldn't even be, you should like 5 years minimum before you can even say that you own a stage. Like
Yeah.
eat shit and be happy that you're eating shit for a long time, because when you're not eating shit, it starts to taste really sweet.
Yeah.
not eating shit is
You gotta eat shit.
a nice feeling.
sometimes.
You gotta eat shit to know what not eating shit
Yeah.
tastes like.
Exactly. It's going to teach you the lesson that eating shit sucks.
Quote that. Put that on my tombstone.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like. So all of that stuff, all the little wins, I appreciate all of it, because we did that ourselves, competing against people that had the connections and had all that stuff. Like, we did that ourselves, and we had fun, and we did it the way we wanted to do it.
Well, it definitely looked like you were having fun. I was definitely
Always, man.
yeah,
Like,
seeing those shows, and just shows getting bigger and bigger. Can you tell me a little bit about how 2019 panned out? The adversity that you were facing in that year.
Yeah. So anyone that follows me on Insta or Facebook or whatever will know that like 2019 was pretty severe for me. Like, I got a heart condition. I've had it for the last like 5 years.
Right.
It's an arrhythmia. So basically, my heart every now and then will go into weird rhythms.
But it's something that you've had for for a while.
For a while,
Yeah.
5 years, and I've always dealt with it. Like, whenever I played live, I'd take medication that I needed to take and just go crazy and just hope for the best. I'm a faithful person. I believe in God. I just was like, God's got me. Last year, they decided to put ICD in my chest. I don't know if the cameras can pick that up, but the scar's there, and you can kind of see the outline of it.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It's like a defibrillator in your chest.
Right.
And
basically a pacemaker.
Yeah, like a pacemaker. And they put that in at the start of the year last year in February or March. And I was like, okay, I guess I've dealt with this for this long. I can keep dealing with it. And a week after I got it in, I played a show in Fremantle, and I wasn't taking medication. And at the time, I'm diagnosed ADD, so I was taking like ADD medication, and I played a show, and it had literally been in 6 days, and I was on stage. I got into the second song, and while I was on stage, I just felt this lightning bolt go through me, and I look at the ground because I think I've stepped on like a wire or something.
Yeah.
And then while I'm looking, I'm like, oh no, that was the thing in my chest. I realized this thing has gone off and shocked me.
Did no one say mention that to
No
you?
one could see it except me. You look back at the footage and you see me stutter, like you see this thing go off, but no one knew.
Yeah.
And so what had happened is my heart had gone into a weird rhythm, and it shocked me and put me back in place. And so I spent a few days in hospital. They were just doing all the checks. They were like, look, you got to get off the ADD medication. You got to take the beta blockers. Beta blockers slow your heart rate down.
Right.
A lot of like marksmen or like riflemen take them because it slows everything down. You can really focus and calm yourself. They're called beta blockers. They were like, you got to get on beta blockers. So I did. And, it was fine for a few months. I went on tour with Draft in like June that year, and we did like WA.
Did a lot of shows then.
Yeah. And it was okay. I had like one show where things were a little bit iffy, but other than that, it was good. Got back to Perth and was like, things are feeling good. So went off the medication again and just went back onto the ADD medication.
The beta blockers.
Went off the beta blockers, went back onto the stimulants. Bad decision. Did that for about a month. Was at Collab at the Moon Cafe, 10-year anniversary.
Right. So a big one.
A big one.
Yeah.
And I've known the Collab boys like Empty and all of them for a long time, and went there to kind of just show up and support and do my thing, and jumped up to freestyle and wasn't on medication. And when I jumped up, I took before I jumped up, I had like 4 shots of Fireball whiskey. I feel like that was maybe the thing that did it. It was not a good decision, and got on stage and freestyle for like a minute, and then felt myself getting breathless and my heart go into a weird rhythm. And so I passed the mic on to someone else and sat down, and then was like, shit, like this feels bad. And I had like a little bit of medication on me, not enough to like for it to be a full dosage, but I had some in my wallet. And so I took a little bit of medication, and it takes a while to kick in. It takes like half an hour to kick in. So I knew it was going to be a while, and I could feel my heart in a weird rhythm. And I was like, shit. There's a singer who was there. Her name's Natalie May, like my guardian angel. And I was like, Nat, I'm feeling bad. Can you come out the front with me? So we walked out the front of the venue. And as I'm walking out, I feel it go off and shock me. Like the shock is like, they liken it to being kicked in the chest by a horse. That's what the shock feels like. I feel it shock me as I'm walking out. I'm walking out, so the front half of the crowd don't see me, but the back half see it go off. I'm holding a glass of water and I throw it on myself because it shocks me, and I just throw it, and everyone gasps. They're like, and I was like, shit, I got to get out. So I walk out the front. Nat's out there. By this stage, some of the Moon staff are out there with me, and man, like the Moon, anyone who lives in Perth knows the Moon is a staple for music. Anyone who like wants to eat after 10 p.m. The Moon is a staple. And they're just good people. Like that's, like I have so many life events happen at that place, which is ironic that this near death experience happened there. So the Moon staff are out there with me, Nat's with me. This thing, like when it shocks you, it's supposed to shock your heart back into a normal rhythm. If it doesn't work, it keeps shocking you. So like the idea is, if it shocks you, it's at a point where your heart's in my heart was at like 300 beats a minute, which is like, you're on the borderline of cardiac arrest. So it's trying to shock you out of going into cardiac arrest. It shocks me once, and I'm like, shit, I hope that worked, but I'm still feeling breathless. And then it shocks me again. Like, that's not good. Why didn't the first one work? And it shocks me again, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I get like 2 more shocks after a minute, and I'm like, why isn't it working? And it keeps shocking. I'm like, shit, I'm about to die. And I'm sitting there, and Nat's out the front with me, the Moon staff are out there. Nat's praying for me. I've got my phone in my hand thinking, I'm about to die. Who should I call? Who should I call to say goodbye? But I can't think straight enough to actually dial a number. I'm just like, they're on the phone to the ambulance, the Moon staff and that, and I'm just keep getting shocked. They're trying to give me water, and every time they give me a glass, I get shocked, and I like throw it. It goes for about 20 minutes. I get shocked about between 40 and 50 times. Everyone there, I can see their faces. Like everyone's like, this dude's about to die. I'm thinking I'm about to die. I'm praying to God. Like, I just kept saying shalom, shalom. Shalom is Hebrew. It means peace. That's what's tattooed on my chest. I just kept saying shalom. A homeless dude walks by, and he comes up and he's like, what's going on? And everyone's like, back off, man. Just let him be. And he goes, dude, you need to breathe. And I'm like, it's okay, bro. Like, everyone's here. It's all right. Like, I haven't, I'm still, like, I could say that, then I get shocked again, and I'd be like, I'm like hyperventilating. And he's like, man, just breathe. And I'm like, all right. I just breathe deep. As I'm doing that, the ambulance rocks up. By the time they pull up on the curb, it stopped shocking me. It's so funny, man, because everyone was trying to shoo this dude off. And his advice was like,
turns out it was the best.
Man, if that's not God, I don't know what is. The ambulance rock up. They rip my shirt off. They get me in. They strap me up. My heart it'll jump back into 300, but then it'll go back to normal before it shocks again.
Right.
They turn the sirens on. They drive me to Royal Perth. They take me into emergency. They push me onto the bed in emergency, and there's like 20 of the emergency staff all standing. I can tell they're like all expecting this to be like, we got to operate type thing, you know? They're all standing around, and I could see their faces. They're all like, shit. But eventually they realize, oh, he's stable now. And so I think what had happened is the medicine had kicked in.
Sure.
And God had sent a couple of guardian angel, you know, like Nat praying for me, and the moon stuff on the phone, and I'm not even like a homeless dude walking past, like strung out, presumably, like he looks strung out, telling me, dude, you need to breathe. Like,
that's bizarre.
It just I was like, I wasn't meant to go, you know, I wasn't meant to go. But it fucked with me, man. Like, the last 6 months of last year was like, so, you know, I spent a few days in hospital. They discharged me, but I was so scared to go anywhere or leave the house or do anything that might elevate my heart rate to put me into a place again where things are risky. And I spent 6 months, nearly 6 months, just like, they talk about PTSD. They were likening the PTSD I had to soldiers coming home from war, like that near-death experience.
It's
where
the
you're
same
like,
thing, you know.
Yeah,
surely.
and I sympathize so much with anyone going through it. It's the worst thing ever. And you know, I'm still dealing with it now. I'm on antidepressants. I'm on Xanax. I'm on, not all the time, but like stuff to help me manage the like fallout from that. I'm still working to a place where I can get back on stage. I don't know what my live shows are going to look like from now. I used to jump on stage and go insane, run around and go crazy. I don't know if I can do that anymore, but you know, it's my faith and my belief that I'm still here for a reason, and wanting to just keep making music that's keeping me like pursuing it and pushing forward. But
well, that's an incredible story, man. And yeah, it's I'm actually speechless. Yeah. I mean, obviously, future plans, you want to take it one day at a time, but do you have any other announcements to make? Any other news?
Yeah, man.
Plans?
Yeah. So like, so the last single that I released was with Draft last year in April, called Oomph. And yeah, I was stoked with that. Like, I love that track, and I love the clip we did with Steve Brown off the back of it. And you know, it's been a year and nearly a half, and I'm about to release another single, and it's called Water, and it's got Just One from Fundamentals on it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got a gospel choir on it. It's got a singer from Perth called Solomon Pitt.
Oh, Solomon.
Yeah, another singer called J.O. on it, and it's just I'm excited about it, man. It feels like triumphant. It's like I'm excited to put it out. So that'll be out soon. We're going to drop a clip as well, and just that
sounds really good,
man.
By the way.
Yeah.
Gospel, fundamentals, Solomon. Sounds like it's got everything.
It's a vibe, man. I like it. I'm excited to put it out. So
is this it sounds like it's probably something that would back to the old uplifting kind of energy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would have been easy to put out something really like emotional or sad or heartfelt or like woe is me, but I was like, no, fuck that. I want to like
fighting the feeling a little bit with it.
Yeah, like cool. Yeah, like I'm glad I'm still here. Like this is good, you know. We can be jovial, we can be joyous, and I wanted to put something like that. Like 2020 for everyone has been such a piece of shit. Like let's put out something joyous and just be like, hey, we're still here, and we're still fighting, we're still kicking, and yeah. So that's Water, and that's coming out soon. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for that. That sounds great. Well, thanks so much, man, for your time, and yeah, like I feel like you've given so much, and I think we all really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks again, man.
Thanks, bro.
Cheers.